because there's too many jobs, mate, outside of barbering where you, just as you say, you can go in, that's your job, you're getting paid X amount, you're not getting paid any more in this here, and you can be easily replaceable. That I genuinely have a pure passion for what I do.
So yeah,
but that's the reason why you are so successful.
You're 24.
Yep.
So you're 24 years of age. Let's say you live to your 90. You got fucking 3 more lifetimes there.
It's crazy.
Right?
It's crazy
So
when you put it like that.
At least 3 more lifetimes there. So you might be 60 years of age and fucking run an oil empire for all you know. You don't know. You have all these plans. See, when I was fucking 18, did I think, I'm gonna have this fucking digital agency, open a couple of Mexicans, fucking go in investments and all that sort of shit.
I want to own my own business, and this is what the problem is with business owners as well, mate. But I want to own my own business because they want that free time.
Doesn't work like that.
Do you know what I'm on about? Like,
Doesn't
I'm
work
telling you
like
right now, mate, I mentioned before, I was the laziest apprentice you can meet. But when I own my own business, I've never worked harder. Do you know what I mean?
Hello! So you're just looking at me like, what the fuck is going on? It's like, 2 seconds. Right, okay, I'm coming now. Right, I gotta go.
And you're straight out. I know, it's mad.
No choice, mate. I was down the road. High risk, high reward. That's what we said earlier. Like, some people are happy to get their money and feel safe, and I'm fucking power to them. Keep doing that and keep going job to job and going up the ladder and getting more money for yourself and more freedom.
Exactly, but it's sort of, for me, it's about maybe trying to create an environment where like everyone can thrive.
Shout out to fucking Queens here. You need to get your fucking level up here. Some of the shit you're teaching them does not matter at all. Right. Okay, everyone, we're sitting down today with Gerry Girvan, the owner of 2 barbershops, one in the Belfast area, one in the Glengormley area, and he's got a academy on the go as well. So sitting down with Gerry today, I want to kind of deep dive into your story, how you got started. You're quite young, aren't you? What age are you?
24.
So you're 24. You know, I think I started my first business at 22, I think, and I remember a lot of people, like, when you're young, people kind of look down at you a little bit, don't they? Because I was, for example, I was doing wedding videos and stuff like that, and people would look at me and be like, "Are you the videographer?" And I'd be like, "Yeah," and they're like, "You're very young." So sometimes there is a little bit of
Stereotype.
a little bit of a stereotype there with young businessmen. So, Gerry, tell us how you got started in the barbershop and how you got started with your first barbershop.
First and foremost, brilliant to be here. Like, the class he asked me to come on and as he speak about it, so I'm glad to be here.
No problem, Gerry.
Yeah, I started off when I was 14. To talk about barbering, I feel like it's important for me to talk about before barbering and sort of how as he got led into it.
Yeah.
So for me, when I was younger, I come from a single parent home. Me, my brother Seamus, Orla, and obviously my mummy. Growing up, everything was sort of great. I'm not a type of fella. I didn't get on a flight until I was 16 or something like that. So
I think I was 18.
Were you?
Yeah.
So like for me, when we were younger, mate, we would have spent a lot of time down in Donegal, different times of the year, and back then, obviously up until I was 12, my daddy would have lived with us, and me and my brother especially would have experienced some different things in the house. So how my daddy would have treated mummy and things like that there. So overnight, things sort of changed for us when we were younger, that he was no longer there, and it was just me, my mummy, my brother and my sister.
Yeah.
So money,
shock to the system.
Yeah, shock to the system. Money was very, very tight around the house back then, and I have to give credit to my brother Seamus. He was 2 years older than me. He was 14, and me and him we always had a desire in terms of like wanting to be accountable for ourselves, and maybe back then I didn't really realise that was the case. But we would have been like in school, mate. I was selling juice in school, like
pulling out all the sweets, mate, out of the blazer.
Yeah, brilliant. Like honestly, and like you weren't even making like big money every day, mate. But this was the type of stuff like I realised that I seen at home, mate, the pressure that my ma was under, and it wasn't something that I could just go to her and be like, "Mummy, I need money to do this and that." And I was at a young age, mate. Like there was people in my class, mate, that mummy and daddy maybe were very well off, and you're sort of trying to, I wouldn't say fit in, but maybe try to go along with the young things that happen when you're younger. So
yeah, when people had Helly Hamptons, mate.
And I was running about in Reebok. But no, like we would have been like, we were washing cars, mate, when we were kids, like £3 for the outside, £5 if you want the inside done. We would have had, like, it's funny, have you ever heard of Michael Quinn, the hairdressers?
No.
On City Centre? We had Seamus, like we had our own wee clients, that like he wouldn't want me to steal his clients, and I had my clients, and
right, okay.
Michael always give us a tenner.
Right.
So me and him were fighting, trying to who has the best customers type thing.
Yeah.
Paper rounds, like we done.
Fuck me, Jerry, you're doing everything.
I swear to God, mate, like when we were younger, but back then, mate, I sort of, like I was a big Clinwell fan, still am when I was younger, so I would have looked at it, if I sell all this juice in school every day, do my paper round, that I would get enough money to go away to Glenavon, like with Clinwell, so it was all for really minor things, like, do you know what I mean, but there was always a desire in there to sort of make money and have my own money, because it's hardly like when I was at home with my ma, I didn't have that person to turn to be like don't get me wrong, like Mummy done everything for me that she could, like I'm not saying that, but there was a desire for me to be younger that I sort of needed to find my own sort of feet. So I was, obviously I said I was 12 there when Mum and Daddy split up. So obviously the next couple of years around that was obviously quite tough, and it was more like a misunderstanding about sort of the situation that's going on.
Yeah, so just so that I have context and the people listening have context, when you're saying your mummy and daddy split up, as in your dad no longer had anything to do with any of us?
Yeah, he was. It was like a walkout, technically.
Okay. Yeah,
so
bastard.
I know. He was abusive and things weren't right. So, and it's funny, even when at that age, mate, I would have turned around to my mummy and been like, listen, things need to change here. Yeah. So even as a young age, mate, I was sort of I had that sort of maturity to realise that like this shouldn't be going on, and no one should ever treat my mummy like that. So I always had, it was a pride thing for me always when I was younger. And when barbering sort of happened when I was 14, a barbershop, literally Gavin James opened up on the Whitewell Road around Easter time. And I actually mentioned this when we were talking the other day, that me and a couple of my mates were running about the Whitewell, and it was snowing, and we were just pinging snowballs straight at Gavin's window. And we were actually thinking that Gavin would have came out and chased us. You know, like, sure, you know yourself, you were kids.
Yeah.
Gavin came out, mate, grabbing snowballs, winging them back at us. Like, come on, like, loved it.
Having a bit of crack.
Gavin invited us in, the shop just open, free tins of Coke, like, loads of wee things that kids that we would have loved. He was like, lads, come down to the barbershop any day you want, because he was quiet at the start. So Gavin sort of loved the crack and loved all us boys coming in. And back then, mate, they wore suits every day, waistcoat, tie, everything, really gentleman's approach. And for me, mate, I just went to your average barbers back in the kid. Like, it was just normal. So me going in and seeing this, mate, was like a revelation. Like, I'd never seen something like this before. And through the months of me going down and getting my hair cut, Gavin was adding in new staff, really like high quality barbers, and the whole feel of the shop, mate, it was something that I never seen myself being a barber, never before this year. It was mad as how it happened. And Gavin, there was an opportunity coming about where they were looking at an apprentice type thing, and I said to Gavin, like, mate, I would love to do it, and he sort of offered it to me. But it's funny how the roles changed, because once I sort of said to him, Gavin, I want to do it, it was nearly like I had to then prove to him that I wanted to do it.
You wanted it?
Yeah, so it's, even though we sort of offered it, like, Jerry, it'd be good to get you in. And then I said, yes, I want to do it. It's just like, oh, but really, do you want to do it? So, like, obviously me, where I am now, I can see why. Like, because you want someone who was going to come in and commit himself. But for me, when I went into barbering, mate, it was something, I played football my whole life. And I always really respected the individual skill, but also being a part of a team. So, like, I sort of resonated with that in a sense with barbering, and I was lucky at a time where Gavin James was on the up and coming, had really, really high quality barbers. So when I was in there, mate, like...
So he offered you this apprenticeship when you were 14?
14, yeah.
But you were still in school?
I was still in school, it was third year. It was third year in
like
school.
After school type thing?
So I would have went down, but see, it's funny, because as I said there before, like, Gavin James open Monday to Saturday every day after school, mate, between 3 and 6. And any of the lads that'll watch this here, that they'll know I was in the shop.
Oh, right, you were just lingering about
in my uniform after school. Just would have came down. The lads would have given me a lift home at 6 o'clock, because I only lived up the street. So it was somewhere where I just always wanted to be around. On a Thursday, 48, Gavin said to me, Jerry, bring your own clients in. And on a Saturday, after I played football, Gavin would have done one-on-one, like, sort of tutoring with me. And then I must have been about 6 months, maybe into me doing it, that there was an academy going around. So I think there was about 5 or 6 of us in his academy in the city centre shop at the time, which I got completely for free, which was brilliant.
Amazing.
And
it's when you were, so you were 15 now?
Probably about 15, mate, I'd say. Like, no, I don't know. It may have been the same year maybe.
Right.
Well, this all happened all the space of a year.
So were you Mitch in school, or how the fuck did you get there?
So this was a Monday night. This would have been a one night a
right,
week
okay,
for say
okay,
like
yeah.
sort of 12 weeks or something.
Yeah.
So, but I was already working in Gavin James, so I was working there on a Saturday, brushing the floor after football, and then I would have been there on a Thursday. Monday nights I would have been in the academy. So I was really trying to consume as much as I could as possible.
Okay.
So when obviously I took part in the academy, done really well, was just sort of trying to bide my time. The thing is about barbering, mate, that there needs to be a seat there for you. If there's a seat there, you need to be good enough. You
Yeah.
need to have a client base,
You need to
like
earn it.
this type of thing. So it's harder, sort of, especially I went through this, mate. It was hard to actually get a place within a shop. So obviously I just kept on going. I was brushing the floor, mate, tea and coffee for probably about 2.5 years. But to be fair, mate, it was pretty long now that I look back.
I don't think I remember seeing any of the kids who washed the floor last that long, Gerry.
I
So
know. Yeah.
committed.
Yeah, no, I mean, I loved it. And see, you know the thing is, people watch this, I was the worst apprentice that you could ever see. I love cutting hair, mate, and I love being in the shop. I love working with the lads. But see, like, it's not that I thought brushing floor or anything is beneath me, because that's a part of being a junior. I understand that. But for me, it was always like an end goal that I wanted to be a barber. Like in my head back then, mate, I wanted to own a Gavin James. Like, I wanted the same sort of thing the other day. Some of the lads said about Bespoke.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted for myself. So for me, whether or not I was waiting 2 years or 5 years was just, it didn't matter. Like, I was going to be a barber in Gavin James, and that was it.
Yeah.
So I say it must have been until I was 16 then that an opportunity came for me to work in frames. And that was only like, I think it was like a Friday, Saturday type
Frames?
thing. Frames in the city centre.
Right, okay. It
And,
was a barbershop as well.
Barbershop's
obviously, yeah,
Gavin James. So it was only still 1 day a week, 2 days a week while I was in school. Which I was loving about it. I earned my waistcoat. I was wearing my tie every day. So I was loving it. Like getting on the bus and getting hit for an adult day ticket. Loving it. And was working there. Once I got put on the floor. I know I was only on 1 day a week, 2 day a week. But once I was on the floor, that was probably about June. It was during the summer. So I was working sort of 4 days during that time. So I was getting the feeling of like a working life during the summer. And then when September happened, I was back in school getting treated as a child.
Yeah.
So back then, mate, it was a bit confusing for me because I was sort of in school during the day.
And you went and done A level as well, did you?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So when I
the A levels was that your backup plan then, or what was the crack with that?
yeah
That was your backup plan for feel safe.
and that was my mummy and me here as well, trying to get me to do my A levels. And this is actually, there was a make or break for me because of my A levels. So basically, obviously, as I said there, I was during the summer, I was working. And I had to go back to school in September. And Gavin sort of came to me and said, Gerry, listen, like he's a great mentor, great leader. Like definitely would look out for you first before that he would sort of look out for himself. So, and I've took a lot of things like learning from him that way. And he sort of said to me, Gerry, basically like Frames is closing. And
Right. So City Centre shop was closing
it was
down.
closing. Now they had a shop around the corner, which is still existing now, Scholars and Scoundrels they called it. And he
So is all his shop different names?
So now it is Gavin James is in the Whitewell and Scholars and Scoundrels is in the city centre.
Right, yeah.
So around that time, a couple of lads, because the shop was leaving or closing, obviously lost their job. And he sort of came to me and said basically that there could have been a position for me in one of the shops, but the truth of the matter is that I would need to leave school. And at that time, I must have been, now that I think about it, it was either lower sixth going in the upper sixth or it was fifth year going in the lower, one of the two.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, I think it was lower sixth in the upper sixth because I was feeling that I just done a year's worth of work there. And if I left, it would be for nothing.
Yeah, it'd be
But
for nothing.
and the thing is, mate, about this, seeing my whole time, I was always gonna be a barber. So in my head,
it was your mum who was pushing you into this.
yeah,
And then you decided, right, I'm putting my big boy socks on here and I'm going for it.
more or less. But what happened to me before my A levels, which I sort of jumped ahead there first, that I left in fifth year originally to go and do barbering in Belfast Met,
Right.
right?
Right.
And I went in on the first day, mate, right?
And
And
bounced.
2 weeks or something that lasted. But you know what it was, mate? And I was too young in my head. I was way too young in my head and looking back. But I went in, mate, and there was people from all over Ireland in the class. And I would say if there was 25 people in the class, say mate, 20 people, there was probably about, I'd say now there's probably about 4 of them, maybe that are barbers now that I know of. And I sort of, when I went in the first day, mate, see to get into barbering in Belfast Met, it's A star to G to actually get in. So basically, and I'm not like shitting on anyone who doesn't have like qualifications. Wasn't like that. it was just sort of people didn't see what I seen in barbering in the class over the couple of weeks that I was there. And I just couldn't see myself sort of like thriving in that atmosphere. Like I was sort of looking for like mentors and leaders and people who loved it as much as me.
Yeah.
And this is why I say that I was too young
Yeah.
in my head, because what I sort of was looking for at that time was maybe I wasn't ready to do it yet. So for me, Gavin said to me, Gerry, you're going to keep your job. Like you can still brush hair on the Saturday. You can still do all the things. Go back to school. Now looking back, mate, that was brilliant, because now mate, we only really take on people who are full time, like in education, or there's no point in doing it. But Gavin obviously must have seen potential in me that I really want to do it. So I went back to school, went on my A levels, which looking back,
You finished the A levels then?
so I finished my A levels, yeah. I have an A star in business and 2 C's in sports studies.
Right, okay.
So
Well,
I know 2 C's in sports studies, but it's the same business that matters.
You're absolutely right.
But yeah. So I was a wee bit too young, I feel like, back then. So when I came out of school then,
18.
at 18,
You're ready.
not yet.
Not yet?
Not
okay,
yet.
there was a wee sidetrack here.
So obviously, as I said to you before, when I was in lower sixth, Gavin said to me, Gerry, it's either you leave school type thing, or there's sort of no job for you.
Yeah.
And now I don't think, now looking back, mate, Gavin was someone, mate, who looked out for me, so I don't really feel like he would have let me go. I feel like he would have found a way to maybe get me in one day. But I was cutting hair now. This isn't me at sort of 17. I've been cutting hair, mate, for 3 years. I'm a wee bit on now. And it was funny, mate, I was actually at, do you ever remember in school, mate, we used to go on them wee fire and safety days?
Yeah.
We were up at where the old H blocks used to be.
Yeah.
Where is that again, actually?
The old East Block?
Yeah. Is not McGarry.
No, is it Crumlin Road you're talking about?
No. There's a big complex there now. So they knocked all the H blocks down and they built this sort of big, not like a velodrome, but it's like a big complex. We went to like a...
Where is it, towards Lisburn?
I think so, mate. I can't remember, but I was at... It's funny because they were actually doing like a role play of like what happens when a car accident happens, and people were screaming and all this madness, right? And this is going on while I get a message from a Turkish barber called Vito. And he was like, he sent me a photo being like, is this one of your haircuts? Like, as if like that I did. And I was like, yes. And he was like, I would love to give you a job.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I'd love to give you a job. But for me, in my head, as I said, I would never have left Gavin James. Like, never. So I nearly had to get like the approval of Gavin to say like, mate, can I sort of do this here? And I sort of realised at the time I didn't want to leave Gavin James, but
the opportunity was there.
The opportunity was there, but for me, mate, I realised something at that time, for the love of cutting hair was more greater to me than what maybe working in a certain place actually was. Now, if Vito came to me, he was like, Gerry, did you do these haircuts? Like, I'll give you £50 a day.
Yeah.
And I was saying, like, Gavin, don't say nothing here. But I told Vito, like, I'm on £70 a day at Gavin's here. You know, like, you need to pay me, like, properly.
Yeah.
And he ended up agreeing, like, 65 quid a day or something that he gave me, which, mate, was probably about 30 quid a day more than what I was even on in Gavin James as well.
Days.
So I done a wee sly one.
Leverage.
And got in. And the good thing about Vito was he was open on a Sunday. So it was culture shock, definitely.
Being in work on a Sunday?
Yeah. No, not even working on a Sunday. I mean, just working in a different place compared to Gavin James.
Right, okay.
So like Gavin James, mate, was a barbers he had two shops at one time. I would say staff-wise, mate, he had maybe up to like 14 staff, maybe at one time. So I sort of got to see a scale. And it was one of the reasons why I wanted to do barbering in the first place, because I sort of seen the scale. I didn't know that barbering could be done like this. Like, do you know what I mean? I just thought barbering was just a wee local wee shop. You go in, you get your hair cut, you go, like...
It used to be like that.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? It's not changing now, but I feel like when I started, Gavin James was the start of the new modern era of barbering. So I was lucky, first and foremost, to actually get a place in there. But when I went to Blades, the standard was a lot different. Like, you're getting told to do haircuts in 15 minutes and go. Like,
all about the money.
All about the money. And it was a shock to me, mate. They were trying to get me to cut hair in ways where maybe I would like things a lot more low and longer hair and styling and stuff, where they would just like shave this crown off.
Take the crown off! 15 minutes! Out you go, son.
But it's funny, mate, because one thing I actually have to be thankful for working in Turks is they let me loose.
Yeah.
So like in Gavin James, it was all everything standard and surface has to be right, which I'm still really passionate about now.
Yeah.
But in Blades, it was sort of like, Gerry, get them haircuts done.
Yeah.
So one thing I have to thank Vito for was that I got to go through my fuck-ups, nearly in a sense where I was doing loads of haircuts, maybe not doing them to a great standard, and then realising, Gerry, I need to be better. But at least in Blades, I had them clients to do that on.
Yeah.
And Gavin James, I sort of was picking and choosing what clients could cut because
Yeah.
I wasn't really ready yet.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot, actually, when I was in Blades, in terms of like he was doing hot shaves every day, like learning things that maybe because Gavin James was such a scale, I may not have got that one-on-one sort of mentorship in a sense, but from when I was in Blades, it was like, Gerry, just do it. It was just like no pressure, just get stuck in, and I love that mate. But I stayed in Blades maybe for about a year, just under a year probably, but the whole time I was in there, I knew it was never going to stay.
Right.
Does that make sense? Like,
so did you go Blades and then go back to Gavin James?
No. But it's funny you say that, mate, because part of the reason why I went to Blades was because Gavin texted me saying, Gerry, you're only going away on loan. Like, do you know that kind of thing?
Yeah.
So in my head, that kept me content because it was like, okay, there may not be a place for me there, but if I go to Blades, learn my craft a wee bit more, and then I'll come back a better barber. So that for me, that was like the goal. But so during Blades, I never felt like I was going to stay there. And you know, looking back, I was searching for something. I was searching, and I knew I wasn't going to stay there. And then an opportunity came up to move up the barbershop up the street from Blades. So I was Judas. But I was searching, I knew I needed to go somewhere where standard was everything. You know what I mean? Because even I today, mate, I believe that like if you can really work on your service, work on your standard, that you can make excellent. Do you know what I mean? Like I really feel on improving myself to the point where I can charge and people feel it's worth it, and they're getting that service maybe with me that they're not getting in other places. So
where's the next place?
One up the street. The place Kevin Pierce.
Kevin Pierce?
Yeah, Kevin Pierce. It's still a shop now, it's still a shop now. The two owners, they don't learn on with each other now, they learn on business together. Right, okay. Pierce, he actually owns a shop, really good shop up the Antrim Road, Colour and Fades. Right.
So you moved there?
So I moved there, and I was there for 4 months, mate.
Well, it was a short one?
Yeah, because I realised in the south that it wasn't what I was searching for. Right, okay. So when I say I was in Blades and I was searching for something, I really, looking back, that was my time to go on and open up my own shop.
So you bounced from this one to your own shop?
Yeah.
So
it was a pretty big jump, mate.
Yeah.
So basically what happened, I didn't really end on great terms in Kevin Pierce. Just I didn't really think they were seeing the same things.
Yeah.
And a fella that I worked with in Blades, and I left obviously, and about a week later he found out that I left, and he was raising me, oh, why is he not telling me? Why is he not telling me if I'm not going to shop? And I was going, I'm not ready for this. Yeah, I was going,
no one's ever ready.
Exactly.
No one's ever ready.
So it was funny, we went up and seen the unit, and it wasn't all that. It wasn't anything really, but it was something. It was something. And he sort of pissed at me that he thinks that it can make it work. It was on the Old Park Road. And for me, man, I'm from the Lake, I live up to St. Sue, so I was working in Gavin's Film Centre, which is a local area to me, and then I went to work in the City Centre, which, okay, it's maybe far away, but City Centre's sort of local to everyone. Yeah. And then I was on the Antrim Road, so I was bouncing about, and up in the Old Park, mate, it's a bit of an area, it's away from the town, not too far, but it's a wee bit away from where I was. So I was worrying, like, my client's going to follow me, like, geez, it's not all the usual stuff. But I worked out, me and Nixon Cullen worked out that if we done 6 haircuts a week, we'd be okay. So when we started, like...
She must have had no bills then, didn't she? What age were you, 19, 20?
I was 18, turning 19.
Fuck! So you started your first shop 18, turning 19?
Turning 19.
Must have no bills. What was your bills?
No, what with my bills, mate? We were paying £500 a month for rent, obviously had the electric and stuff. It wasn't
I mean, like, your bills, though, did you have a car?
No, I didn't. This was the funny thing is, yes, I didn't have a car, right? And this is what the beautiful story of it all. Me and him, we didn't have a phone each. Like, we didn't have a phone. I can afford to pay in a car. And so, you know, it's actually funny about this here. So he came out and said, right, we're going to open up this shop, right? And I had no job, by the way. So how am I going to open up a shop now? I have no job. I wouldn't tell anyone to do this, but I just walked out. And then I went home and I said, well, my job's like, well, where are you going? I said, I don't know. So
you have that memories when you're young, like that's even you're like under 21, like your mum or dad or whoever. A lot of the time you got a little bit of a grace period there where you can do silly things like that. when you're 25 plus and you've got your rent to pay for, your car payment to pay for, maybe have a couple of kids, whatever, it's much harder. I think it's a good idea just to say, fuck it, we'll find something, call it, we'll find something else.
So what actually happened then, mate, that we agreed that, as I say, the shop wasn't everything. It was, we got 4 chairs on it, which was like mental that we
Someone fucking stuck in the ceiling.
we were like messing about, putting chairs where we could, get the lads in, but how we actually set it up was the most risky thing that I would never tell anyone to do this.
Right.
So basically what we done was, he had a job, which he was working, he was still in place.
Right.
So he was making decent money there, and I had no job. So I had we agreed that if we chipped in £150 a week for 12 weeks each, I think that works out for £2.5 grand, £3 grand, somewhere around them regions, we could do something. And what we done during that time to get more money was I applied for a loan for Invest in I. So we, for 6 months, mate, we had to go for what, 2 meetings a week for 6 months. We had to make a business plan through them, which looking back was hilarious. They said to me that we wouldn't employ our third member of staff on
They're clueless in English. I have sorted about this as well, they're clueless. If they say that Irish don't have to do their business.
Oh, mate, it was like, but the thing is, and this is the thing is with this stuff, that I didn't know what I was doing. So for me, anything, and says, Jack, how we done where you are or get to now? And my best advice to anyone, mate, is see if you need to know something. You don't need to find something out until you need to know it.
Yeah.
So for me, mate, I try to not cloud myself in terms of I don't have a business, all these bills, but do you know what I mean? For me, I
never know.
yeah, do you know what I mean? So like I was going like I really tried myself to prioritise what was actually important, and I still try to do it now. I don't get me wrong, maybe we have a couple of businesses going, you have staff, things that get thrown at you.
Yeah.
But I mean the day to day about actually what needed to get done, I felt like that was one of my strong points. Mm-hmm. So it took us 6 months. We got the money. They give us
£5 grand.
£2.5 grand. They give us
£2.5 grand. That's wages or
the investment I give us £2.5 grand, and then me and him saved up about £2.5–3 grand through that £150 per week. It was for like 12 or 15 weeks.
What's the F5G?
So we're £5 grand.
What's the start a business?
Which isn't, see, looking back, it wasn't that a lot.
Was it not?
No.
I need £5 for it. Like, the start I went, Printer's Trust. And £5 grand for me. I need to get like cabinets and nebulous and a future pages and my database. Like,
well,
you had to buy like chairs and stuff.
Well, for me, exactly. So for me, we had to spend, like, looking back, we had struck. But I we spent £1,000, right, on a fella who, I can't remember the next businessman, I can tell you that was for a saying, leaflets, banners, no this type of thing. I probably could get that now for like £600–700. Like, so we made a few mistakes at the moment,
yeah.
Well, obviously had to buy the chairs.
Maybe push advantage your age as well, mate.
Well, there's another thing as well, and that's one of the reasons then I've had to try to work on myself. They actually nearly push that aside, so that's something I had to deal with. So I was 14, stepping into a man's world of barbers and like, Gerry, who do you think you are? No, it's normal stuff. I'm sure you get that.
Like I said, the weapons, mate. Well, being confused when I turned up.
Who's this guy?
You're going to be a bit of from like, well, I'm a bit of for. What's happening?
But where was that now?
You were saying about, we were talking about being a man of the world, and you bought the sign.
Oh yes. So there was a couple of grand we sort of spent, mate. Like we just spent a couple of grand when I looked at the shop, man, Jesus Christ.
You're doing what?
Like it's like maybe our money management back then was terrible.
Yeah.
It's sort of investing in things we shouldn't have at the start, so we made it harder for ourselves. As I said, we didn't know what we were doing. So we went in at the start, man, and it was crazy to me, man. It was sort of like I got a real insight to what it was like. Like I remember our first day at the end of the day that we swapped the thing, and done 20 upcuts our first day. Delighted. And at the end of the day we sort of
count your money early, right? That's it. Time's up. These 60 days, we're alright.
And that's us. Like John was so funny. See, actually at the end of the day doing the till and realising that actually this is ours.
Yeah.
Like, it was fascinating to me. Like it still is. Like I still can't believe that we're doing what we're doing after all these years later.
Yeah.
But NG, we called the barbershop our first one, NG Nail Hair. We ended up I got Jordan in. Jordan was our first employee. Who's now part of our as well. And who was our fourth member? There was a couple of people who sort of felt him in about. Ryan Houston, he was one of our first apprentices in NG.
Okay.
So he has a bit of experience with us so far, like.
Right.
But
So where did it all go tits up?
so basically,
So here, no, let me actually caveat that. So it went well.
it went really well.
So it went well. You were all these mistakes ironed themselves out. You were making money.
So yeah, after a couple of months, we sort of realised that like the area that we were in didn't really outlet a barbershop at the same standard of what we were at. So we were lucky in a sense. Like looking back now, I was just coming to her and trying to get my mates in or whatever. But
Yeah.
the community around us made us feel like we're sort of starving for maybe something like sort of what we were trying to bring. So got the staff with me. They got 4 charging in the space of the year. Apprentices were rocking, busy every week.
So where did the staff come from? How did I have to go sell them?
So basically, after a year, my business partner just sort of, I think, sort of looking back, made me implement different things.
Right. Okay.
I feel like for me, I wanted maybe Bespoke is now. I sort of wanted to create a brand and maybe bring people.
He was happy in the one spot and just staying in that one
I
spot.
think, which is fair enough. Like anything, in a sense, like sort of people sort of think that you work for yourself. I mean, like there's a big difference between being a technician and being a business owner.
Big difference between self-employed and have a business.
Yeah.
So he wanted to be self-employed, but he wanted to have a business.
Exactly, and so there's 2 different mindsets sort of going on, and I appreciate like sort of working for yourself and you want to make your own money, and like for me that's why I got into it myself too, so I can't be so ignorant to that as well. But we wanted different things, and I sort of felt like he was self-aware enough to turn around and be like, Jeremy, this isn't for me. And he knew how much I wanted it and how much I wanted to keep going.
He bounced.
So he left. Yeah. So
He had a bounce.
yeah, so he bounced. And I don't looking back, it might have been on a few personal issues, like he was having a child and stuff like that. So it is what it is. I mean, people have their own things, and like I respect.
Best thing ever happened.
Yeah. So like people like I respected him that he sort of had the courage to come to me and say, "Right, listen, it's not for me," type thing. So at the time he was going to stay. I think he was going to not be a bit. It was a bit grey area, but how
He
he
was
was
going
going
to
to
stay
leave.
on the barber.
Maybe, and what I realised through all this year that I couldn't let that happen because that would have disrupt what I was trying to do. So basically, long story short, within 2 weeks he's left and I got employed, which I had to.
And did you change the name at this stage?
No. So I had to rob Peter to pay Paul everything to get the money together, which wasn't, looking back, wasn't a lot of money, but to me there was a lot of money in it.
To buy him out?
To get him out. Aye. So I got him out, and Jordan, fair play to him, I always laugh this story. Me and JR had a trip booked to Amsterdam to go to.
Yeah.
Me and 2 of my mates and JR won't come up with so all the fun together. And this trip was booked maybe for 3 months, but within 2 weeks of us going on this trip, that this happened. So I was going, Jesus Christ, I can't even go to Amsterdam. I don't have money to go.
Yeah.
All these things. I remember cutting JR's hair before we went to Amsterdam and do this and that. Right, Jerry, so no, I did. But I was like, he's like, can I buy it? I just want mate.
Perfect.
But I said no.
Did you?
No, it didn't happen. That's what I mean. It didn't happen. I said, listen, JR. Like I always loved JR sort of enthusiasm. He said, no one works harder than this family in the room. Like in terms of like turning up every day, being punctual, being passionate about what he does. Like he's a top man, JR. And I knew that sort of me and him working together was something that I always want. I never want that to stop.
Right. Okay.
So basically, obviously, JR knew me well, and I was saying, listen, mate, I've learned to find my feet as my own businessman instead of me just getting one business partner and just going and getting another. It's what made me feel like that.
They're jumping in there on our relationship or something.
I can't do this on my own.
Yeah.
I didn't want to feel like that. So, fair play to him. Understood completely. Nothing changed for him. He still worked in the shop. He ended up, he became the manager of the shop within sort of 6 months.
So 6 months later,
Yeah.
you're on your own directory. It's still called, what's it called?
Still MG Miller.
Still MG Miller, and then where did the transition happen?
So the transition actually happened mate through, so I would say around January, when was COVID? Was that 2020?
2020, yeah, March 2020.
Yeah, so about the January time, February time, me and Jordan for the last couple of months before that were sort of, he was coming on board. We're going to do something together. We didn't want to stay in that shop.
Did like the location or what?
It was a wee shack, mate. It was in a straight corner. There was no shops around it. It was just housing around it. It wasn't really nice off the eye type thing. I felt like sort of for the standard that we were looking to do in Belfast Barbering scene, that being in that location sort of wasn't going to help us. Like, don't get me wrong, really successful business. I could have stayed on there and we could have rocked on, but for me, to do Bespoke, I knew there was a load of things that I sort of done wrong in NG that I couldn't nail first time. So for me, obviously, I created the name Bespoke, tailor made, tailored for you, and so I liked it. It was something a wee bit different, a wee bit upmarket. That I felt like Belfast was sort of starving of. They need something sort of upmarket like that in the barbering scene. So me and Jordan agreed, yes, we're going to go into business. We got the unit down the street from where the old shop actually is now.
Right.
It's only up the street from Westland.
Is it?
Yeah, and locked down him. So
That happened after you signed the lease?
Yeah. So I own two shops that both brands need to pay at the exact same time. Right? But the only thing is after 1 month the lease and energy actually ended.
Yeah.
So
once you started getting that fucking payment out of the fucking
yeah, well there were two guys in Trixie, March happened in or COVID happened in March. I didn't get any money out in September, so there was and I just
but you got that, you know what done, and they were fucking bastards for it, and made you take a loan. Remember the loan?
Oh yes, that's
the bank schemes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I ended up, at the time I took a £5 loan to fueled me, so I got that first payment. I said, this is fucking mad.
I'll tell you something worse than what happened to me. So in the MG I was trading there for 2 years, and I was paying my rates to the landlord.
Yeah.
I didn't see them paying grants, the old business stuff, I didn't get any.
That's mad, mate. That was £10 grant.
That was £10 grant.
And a £5 grant as well.
Now I got the, do you ever get there was this self-employment support scheme where you would have got like a certain percentage of your wages?
Yes,
so
that's
like,
what, yeah.
I didn't get that until
Everyone got that, like.
yeah, but that was the only thing that I got. So I didn't get them 10 grand.
I don't have a shot got that, like.
Yeah, the rates, but I paid in my rap rate, I paid my rates.
So he got your 10 grand.
So he got my 10 grand and tell me, and he told me he wasn't eligible to get.
That's a lie.
I know.
That's
But what am I meant to do?
I remember that system.
See, I was at a time where we were sort of, Bespoke was happening. I remember we had this resin floor, it's really, you ever seen resin floors?
Yeah.
And we had that in Westland. And we were digging up the floor. And I was trying to get workers in. Like we had an idea that we sort of, where I wanted to have it was, when NG's lease was ending, Bespoke was about to start. So we were getting workers in there, we were drilling the floor, taking these tiles up, trying to put, the guys were coming to put the resin, and then lockdown happened. So it was sort of like I couldn't get workers in, and people were saying, oh, I'm freaking out with COVID, and all these types of things, and the thing was ringing my, I was sort of numb there on it, to be honest with you, because I was going home like, it'll be a couple of weeks. Do you remember? Like,
it was gaslighting to the fucking maximum. Alright, well, we're reviewing over 3 weeks, we're reviewing over 3 weeks.
Yeah, like, so I was thinking to myself, like, listen, a couple of weeks off, whatever, I get the workers back in, we'll get to it.
Yeah.
But obviously as the months went on, mate, like, I started seeing my mental health sort of like draining at the some of it. Like, I'm not even a drinker. And I mean, I was drinking every day. Really stupid things. I don't know what it was, mate, because I don't drink at all. But
Yeah.
I was sort of doing things that maybe, like, I shouldn't have been doing. And one thing I was always conscious of, mate, that the way the government were at the time, that I sort of felt like they would have said to me, right, Jack, next Friday you're open. Do you remember there's open and closing, open and closing?
Yeah, sort of done like over Christmas, like all the shops were open for like 3 days or something.
Yeah, so it was weird. So see, as a business mate, and a new business by the way, I was going to myself, I need to get this shop done as quickly as possible. If they turn around to me and say, Gerry, you're open next week, I couldn't afford to be there. Because mate, the thing was, people didn't get the haircuts for months and months and months.
Yeah,
so loads of people shaving their head, loads of people grew their hair out. So I was saying to myself, I need to open at the first day that the government say that I'm going to go back in, because I was worried that a lot of the people know now that NG is closed, and I was about to open up Bespoke, so I didn't want these boys maybe finding new barbers, going to new spots, and then months and months after the barbershops are open, I'm still not open.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? So, load of power next minute, trying to get this shop done, get it open. But I think it was the 6th of July. Yeah, 6th of July was the day they said we can go back in and we open on that day, so it was brilliant. We brought the staff down from NG, all the clients came straight in, like busy from day one, to be fair. But the best thing about Bespoke was that NG more or less was the fighting part, and like how Bespoke was actually formed.
Right, okay. And then you opened in the July, and as I say, the rest is history. You opened your Grand Gorby shop a year and a bit later.
Yeah, but so what was that? 2 years later, 2 years later. So within the first year of Bespoke, it was really about for us, we changed it. It was black uniform, only black, love black and white, very on brand. Yeah. From the NG, mate, I sort of felt like I let people sort of wear anything they want, type thing, and just put the logo on it. But one thing I was always really passionate about, and I love this, like when I go into the shop, you know, I wear my uniform, like, oh, you're wearing Bespoke boys.
Yeah.
It was sort of people resonated with our brand. Yeah. That way, and I really thought that was cool. Like I remember following a guy from London called Mark Caber. He owns a shop called Slater Cuts, and he was very passionate about uniform and sort of like. And I even remember in school, man, like I completely agree with school uniform. Like I used to think that if there was no uniform in school, the people who have loads of money will wear the best clothes. Oh yeah, people who don't have this money will get bullied. Yeah. And one thing about barbering as well, like you are in your clothes every day. Yeah. So I was like, uniform, I'm very like sort of passionate about it. So the old boys now wear uniform. Everyone can wear anything black as long as it's sort of was spoken up. So they would sort of bring me clothes, or I would buy them clothes and just brand everything as long as it's black. So we sort of let people, you obviously wear whatever shoes or anything like that you want to wear, but as long as it's sort of black, but it's class me because a lot of the guys are creative and they sort of find new ways how they can put their own style on the black and white sort of clothes. So a lot of guys, so one thing I love about it, people just recognise us straight away, like if we're going through the same center, like it's brilliant. So that was like a key thing for me, that I wanted to like meal first time in Westland when we opened. Was busy with that woman, we were kind of four hours straight away. Yeah. First year, and it was sort of open and close, so it was sort of harder, but because every time we were open, we were so busy, mate, we were able to build. So within the first year, there was some last thing last bit. Me and Jordan went pretty well, and for me, I knew that I wanted to keep scaling. I didn't know what I was trying to do. I just had a clear passion for barbering and self-improvement, growth, and helping people. Yeah. And a lot of the guys that we brought through that came through not even cutting hair, denied one of our most successful barbers. Yeah. So for me, I was sort of chasing still, as I mentioned before. I was sort of still chasing, still driving, and that's funny, mate, because like the other day in the shop, like some of the people, when you ask them like, where do you see yourself in the future, and they say, I own my own shop. That's the end goal. But for me, like when I got there, there was a lot more. There was a lot more going on, and I didn't actually see that. I thought once I opened my own shop and you had 4 chairs, there was something busy that this is the dream. And I realised to myself that there's a lot more to this here. Yeah. So me and Jordan went well in the first year, and any money that I got back, I sort of said to myself that I don't own my own house. Yeah. I'm financing a car. Yeah. Like, what can I do to try to actually make what I'm doing sustainable? Really? So you're trying to pay up? No. I'm doing what I realised was that I can't be sitting here owning a couple of businesses, mate, and still living with my ma. Oh, here, mate. I opened my first local, and we were doing a lot of fucking money, mate. And I was sitting in my house fucking bedroom being like, I have fucking 8 staff down there and my house box bedroom. Hello? I was like, no, I'm doing But the thing is, I still do live in the last red, but I live saving fucking money. No, I live next door in a carriage. Oh, right. So this is what I decided to do. So what I realised was, mate, that I could have went and rented a house, right? No problem. Like, you could have, like, but for me, like, that wasn't really an investment. Like, I was really investing inside on the point where like business had to be priority. So like, what can I do personally that's going to sort of sustain myself, but also be able to actually grow my businesses? Yeah. So what I done, mate, I invested probably about $8,000 in the doing garage. Now this is like, it's very standard. Like there's a kitchen, bedroom, living room, toilet, shower, like everything that's in your house. I have in the garage, right? Yeah. But the return on investment, like, was brilliant. Like, obviously, it's still high in my mind. Obviously, there's things, as you mentioned, trouble at home and stuff. You're more chipping in for the mortgage now and maybe paying keep. It's like different that way. But for me, like my brother, he owns some house in Only, and lives with his missus, and he still contributes to my house. So so it shows you maybe the help that sort of was needed at home. So I knew that I sort of couldn't move out because I would still have to contribute like to the house. So looking after your mum. So me investing in the garage was ticking boxes through. I have my own personal space now. I have a wee office set up in the garage that I work away on at night. That's not I didn't expect you to tell me that. You got a wee garage space. I've seen them. I've seen people use. So is yours connected? No, it's separate. There's an alleyway that goes in between it.
Right,
So
okay.
it's good.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah,
almost
it's
like having like totally separate space.
Yeah, totally separate space. Like, and for me, like now, like I still, me and my girlfriend, we still talk about sort of should have moved out and all, but we're happy. Like in a sense, too. But I have everything that I have, and it's made me sort of have a bigger drive in business.
Yeah.
Because now, like, if everything went that's free, I still have a garage.
Yeah, you're keeping your deck stacked. So basically, anything ever goes fits up, I'm alright.
Yeah, well, that's sort of what everyone should be supposed trying to.
Every business person, like I'm not there yet because my overheads are fucking massive. But that guy I mentioned earlier, Alex Mosey, he said that when he got his first big contract, him and his missus sat down and goes, right, okay, this will cover us for the next 3 years. We're fucking sweet now. We can do really risky things because no matter what happens, we will have 3 years of a gap of paying our expenses on not like obviously how to go to nice cars and all that, but we could live for 3 years. Sweet. That kind of security does give you almost like that fuck you mentality, where you have like, for example, in my world, maybe like a really demanding client who is taking the piss. I like, I just cut the bit right with my nose and work together. Whereas if you're desperate, you know what I mean, you'll take anything and do anything.
See, it's funny you mention that there, mate, because I think about being in business, mate, it's about being desperate. Like for me, mate, what's the best way to put this? The fear of not doing well, mate, has surpassed any like idea that I have in my head. So for example, mate, like I know a lot of guys have great ideas, mate, but
For that one.
Execution is everything, mate.
Yep.
And you need the right people around you to actually be able to do these things properly. And it's right.
How many people have you met in your fucking life that be like, here, mate, see, you have done that there and done this here and done it this way, or you ever thought about doing it this way? Well, they've done fuck all.
And
They've never done it. They've never done anything.
It's a mad thing, yeah. And the thing was that I realised, man, early on that I need to want to take risks, right? And the thing is, like, I know a lot of people, man, they're quite happy with the job, they can do a salary job.
High risk, high reward,
yeah.
That business.
So do you know what I was I was all for risk taking. I was young, by the way, as you said. If I sort of came home and said that the house it didn't work out, like, I'm still young.
Yeah.
So I have that sort of drive in a sense where if who sits up here, I'm still a barber, I still love cutting hair, like this is like no risk.
Yeah.
Like even though I am making huge risks.
Yeah.
But as it went on in the years, man, I just thought it was mad and like I still have that risk taking sort of in me, but I still do work to try to sustain everything at the same time. Because it has to if I long term. If I want things to be successful, I have to create some sort of markers where I can fall back on type thing, even though I'm still trying to risk and keep going forward. Does that make sense?
I think, right, see whenever you get in there, so we were talking about your till earlier, but whenever you open the till and you're like, this is actually like our money, like this money is our money, and it's kind of like, holy fuck. See, once you get to that point where you're like, I know how I can make my money, no matter how many times you fuck up. If you have that mindset of, I know how to get people to pay me money,
yeah.
No matter what.
Well, I think it'll be cool. So I was in a good trade, in a sense, man. And there's one thing that I sort of...
Fuck me, man. You could always get a fucking churn anywhere as well, you know what I mean? Like,
but see, this is the difference, mate, I think, between us and other places, that one thing is I just mentioned before, that like, I don't know, I actually said this to you the other day, or was earlier, about one of my worst fears is having guys in the shop that are all at a 30 peak. Like, they don't want to go anywhere, and it's, this thing where
that lazy mentality.
They've nearly done it.
Yeah.
Like, I've worked in a placement before, like I said, in Blades, where I've done 60 pound a day.
Yeah.
And if I rake them £200, it didn't matter. So if I went to the boss and I said, listen, man, I think I've been working hard type thing, I've been here for a month, so I'm bringing in a lot of money, like, can I get pay raise? And they just went, sorry, just not really now.
Yeah.
So I didn't really agree with the sense where, like, he had his own personal stuff going on where he just can't afford to give me it, which is fair enough, right? But for me, mate, I was going with Bespoke. What can I really do, right? At all levels. Incentivize people, yes, but what can I do, whether or not you're a junior with us or you're a senior with us, what can I do to make everyone want to still keep going? Because I feel like this is what the problem in barbering actually is, mate, that everyone thinks that I'm going to be a barber and have loads of clients and make my money. But see, when that happens, what do? You just sort of way to work every day, make your own money, because for me, mate, that's where it feels like a job.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying earlier. Self-employed versus get business, two different things.
One thing like I always like to push to all the lads is it's not a sense where like I need to be doing more, and because I think I can really generate like you don't feel happy where you are.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I should be striving for more, but at the same time you should know how well you're doing. Or there's a bit of balance there. Like we have junior staff and that maybe they're not getting clients as much, and they're very hard on themselves like too. So there has to be sort of like a balance there. But for me, like some of the senior staff, like Brad Lee and Matt McAllister, and there are two really like high quality senior staff that we have. And these are boys that are taking part. They're leading the staff training.
Yeah.
They're part of the academy. Like we're down in Dublin next week. There's a Barber bash that Brad taking part of. So these are all things, mate, that are sort of outside working hours that these lads are applying. They still want more. And that's the type of atmosphere that I'm trying to create.
So I have a study that comes to my mind here. So it's a study done by Barber at some university. It's basically around work ethic and working. And what they've done was they got a bunch of mice and starved these mice, and then what they've done was they put food in front of the mice and they had them chase the food. Right, and they would measure how hard they're trying to get this food. Okay? And you think they're starving, so you think they've got a maximum capacity to get this food. And researchers were like, okay, that's the max, starving. So what they've done was, the vary this is, they put a cat behind the mice and the food in front of them, and found they were almost double what they did before.
Because they thought the cat
was going to get them, and there was food in front of them, which says if you haven't got something on your arse, you're not going to work hard enough. You haven't got that thing that you're saying, the fear of failure, which every business owner has. You haven't got that fear of failure, then you don't have that cat grass.
It's funny, it's made 100% because I know you're very passionate about what you do, and I can tell this by speaking to you. I hope you do, me too.
Yeah.
But I still think about every day. What I'd be too fucking. But no, the opposite. I actually go, so I screw me.
Oh yeah, but you've got to do it.
Exactly.
And that's like right now, but fucking
but like the fear of like, maybe I have a junior that's in that day that I'm not feeling myself that he has a client and he needs a bit of help, like type thing. It's like the fear of not maybe helping the guys that are underneath me or me myself doing well from the business is far greater than any anxiety that I get over in the morning, like feeling like that. Do you know what I mean? So it's sort of like it's a thing that you need to want to do what you're doing. Like for me, like running a business, it's tough. Like I know you know yourself. Like
look, anything that's worthwhile is easy.
Yeah.
Anything that's worthwhile is not easy. If it was, every company would do it. And there come things that can't do it. Like, I could do that for me, and it's like, alright, why don't you? Oh, here, just got to sort out X, Y, and Z this year and this. Everyone's got an excuse why they don't do things. Whereas business owners are the guys who actually went, fuck it, I'm going to do it. Like, you started a business, not having a fucking clue. Not having a clue. And you're like,
having meetings with the best day in the high, and I'm going,
they just cut her, make money.
Yeah, that's what I mean, and it's funny, mate, because I need to actually address this because, as I said before, being a business owner and being a technician is two different things. So like, if you speak to guys who are like, I want to open my own shop, I want to do this, I want to be a barber, and they don't have to do these things. But like, see the separation between them. Like, see when I just opened up my first business, I literally felt like I was back to an apprentice in terms of like, so like learn your trade, be a barber, work on different stages of haircuts, service, clientele, all these things. But seeing you when you open up your own business, it's like going right back to the start. and I say this in a sense where you can't be a barber and just open up a business. Of course you can't, and you pay bills. But for me, I was lucky in a sense because I seen Kevin T such a scale when I was first in, and I went to myself, if I'm going to open a barbershop, it has to be premium. It has to be a good scale of a shop. There needs to be people who are in here that want to work, who want to do well.
Which is hard to get.
Which is hard to get, but to be fair, like everyone does that for 6 years. And I only feel like I'm at a point now where I have 10 staff in it who all want the sort of the same thing.
Yeah, the sack guy on visitor. Tell us a story about that. So who wasn't before? You don't have to say names now, just why you have to let people go.
Like we've had boys in there that sort of, and it's hard in a sense, mate, because I feel like a lot of any barbershop owners and listening to this here, they all sort of gauge what I'm saying here is that you need to get people in the door, mate, to pay the bills, right? And sometimes, mate, and I regretted it every time I come back. Now I regretted doing this, but I felt like I had to. That I had to bring people in that maybe weren't in line with our values and our culture for what we want in terms of growth, but they were good barbers and they were making X, Y, and Z, and they were helping out. But through time, you know, like these type of people I'm talking about, mate, they didn't mind lying in the morning, they didn't mind letting you down.
That's disrespect. Those people don't that. Like today, I didn't want to let you down, even though I felt like I want to fucking die because I would. No, but like for me as a business owner, I think it's very disrespectful. For like, say for example, we had a meeting, and you knew you could make this meeting for days, and then you let me know an hour before. So I'm sitting there with pen and paper, good to go. I feel that's very disrespectful. I had a fellow who wanted to go ahead with a website recently. I'm not going to say his name, but wanted to go ahead with a website. Spoke to him for 3 months solid, got everything sorted. It was a decent contract for us. Addressed all his concerns, anything you want to know, just let me know, we'll talk through it, blah blah blah. He texted me on Friday saying, Josh, we're 100% going ahead, sign a contract tonight, blah blah blah. And I take people at face value. No sweating it, have to be on board, blah blah blah. So I started doing a bit of work in the background, and then on the Wednesday we're meant to go ahead. Texted me on the Tuesday going, Josh has got problems with the contract. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, right, what's up? And he said, oh, we don't pay our invoices in 7 days, they pay them in 14. And I'm like, right. No problem, like silly thing there, like okay. And then the other thing was like, oh, we don't get charged UK VAT because we're Irish. And I know that, it says if applicable. It says, quote, if applicable.
I read the thing.
Yeah. And the other thing was just about undue costs, which is basically, undue costs is just like, say for example, they wanted a sex song, and that song costs £300 to rent, or the license. We have to charge them £300, like we wouldn't absorb that £300.
Yeah.
And he looked at that, oh, they're shitting charges, and I'm like, no one cares.
He's like ahead of customer.
Yeah, like he's like pure looking at this and being like feeling like he was getting done there or something. I was like, no, here's everything exactly as I need on an email written down for you. I'm gonna change the contract to contract that day. So next day we're on board and it was good to go. Turned up our meeting at 11, they onboarded. Onboard was just like getting their logins, getting their details for the server, blah blah blah. Yeah, like the technicalities. He texted me being like, oh, I need to review this contract again, and I'm like, I just changed everything they want to change. And then, fucking blanked me for a week. I was furious. I felt so disrespected that I sat and spent the night before getting ready, the day of getting ready for technicalities, getting the staff ready and everything. And then he just, like, I felt so disrespected. So, now I try not to yell at anyone, like make them do shit they don't need to do.
And I suppose it's about me not taking things like personal in a sense too. Like
yeah.
I was speaking honestly, man. Like I've had guys and I've bought them tools. Like I've done things mate, that maybe I wouldn't do for other guys. Like,
yeah.
Done things sort of for people because I see the potential in them. Yeah. I want them to do well, and I think this is what it's about. It's about it personally wanting people to grow. Like I know everyone's a business sort of to make their own money and work for themselves and yada yada yada, but I think it comes down to if you're really passionate about what you do, like so you want to see the best in people.
Yeah.
These things people may have let me down. Like for example, maybe personally a guy that I'm talking about here, that we done a lot for him, a lot for him. And when lockdown happened, mate, he was fully booked for I'd say 2 or 3 weeks straight.
Right.
And we came back and see the day. His first day back from lockdown. It was one of the COVID where we were open 2 months and then we were back in. It was during that day. He just didn't know his name, mate. So all this so in the morning of the Skype, mate, his clients started weighing in, and we cancelled them all. We didn't hear anything. So we thought we could understand was going to come back and work for us, and then we just got that down. And this was something that we would have really done anything for to make sure that he was sort of happy. So like, but at the same time, I haven't lost that sort of trait inside me to be like, because he fucked me over, that I'm not going to sort of do the same for someone else. I feel like I'm looking at it for face value that you sort of need to go through a lot of stuff or go through even a lot of people that maybe you look up to who you realise they're not what I thought about them. I feel like you sort of need to go through them things to sort of to learn, I suppose too.
Yeah, well for me, I like to see the best in people. I do honestly like to see the best in people, but I always think in my own head about the Animal Kingdom, right? So I've been watching that fucking David Attenborough thing lately, and I'm like, nature's so cruel that like if you let, like for example, there's a polar bear and the little sea left its fucking baby there and the polar bear ripped its leg out and ate it. So I think the business is very similar to the nature
Dog eat
and
dog.
dog eat dog, where the sharks will always win because the sharks are willing to do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
So I always look at people with a sense of, if I smell blood, I'll eat them. That's how I think about it. I told you about the art of war,
Yeah.
where if I see a complete business, I can't be friends with them. As much as other people are like, oh, there's enough people for everyone, I can't do it. There's something in my psyche, I can't see you as my friend.
See, do you know what I think the problem is, mate, when you start going in that lane of other businesses, and I feel like because barbershop culture makes bitchy as fuck other businesses trying to be better than everyone else. I feel like, especially with the new era of Instagram, mate, that too many people are focusing on other people rather than actually focus on yourself. And Jordan Peterson actually convinced me about this here one of his rooms, you know, because compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not who someone else is today.
Absolutely.
And that really struck me.
Keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer and all that. You need to always know what's going on.
Well, that's it. You're obviously want to take note in a sense. And do you know what it is, mate? And I think this is the problem, that people are too busy trying to do better on each other. Like, I'm someone, mate, that, like, say, for example, like a barbershop mate that sort of doesn't like us or whatever, like, I'm not afraid to turn around and be like, chocolates. Actually, it's a very good shop. They're doing things right the right way.
Oh, yeah, well, you shouldn't
Do you know all this type of thing? No, like, never, because see, the thing is, I have pure confidence in what I'm doing as a barber and as a business owner, that I'm going in the direction that I want to go in. So I don't really feel like anyone else around me could even like try and even come into that atmosphere stopping me. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like the humble approach of it all helps. And
oh, different here, Gerry. I'd spit on their fucking shop closing. Are your shop closing, mate? Oh, lucky.
I could up. No, but the thing is, mate, I feel like them people, mate, that sort of shit on everyone else, mate, I feel like they're gonna.
No, that's the difference. Don't shit on people. Don't shit on me. I'm saying, if it came to me eating that seed or you eating that seed, I'd eat that fucking seed.
Yeah.
Fuck you. But at the same time, I'm human. I don't want people to buy this. I'm just talking pure in this game.
But I mean, you made me start thinking this here, because it's all our ego based all this here too, isn't it? And
Well,
it's a good
so
thing.
different.
It's a good thing.
Emotions,
Yeah.
So there's a big AI thing. I Rishi Sunak was sitting down with Elon Musk at this AI safety thing the other day. It's on YouTube. People can go and watch it if you want. They were going through kind of what the future holds with AI, and Elon Musk basically said, well, it's basically growing 10-fold, 20-fold per year. So if we add that over 10 years, that is exponential. It's going to be smarter than any human that ever lived, etc., etc. What does that mean for us? It means fucking things. He said it's going to be like a Terminator thing where, like, basically they start trying to kill us because someone updated the software and don't like us anymore, or things start goods and services start to become so incredibly cheap that we shouldn't even charge for them. And what that means is he thinks that in 10 years that everyone will basically be on a universal high income, not a universal basic
I've read
income.
this before, I think, yeah.
So a universal high income basically means all your needs are met with this funding. You're not like living in the breadline or anything, like your needs are met, highly met. But if you want, you can work. And I'm thinking, oh, yeah, wow, that's not like 20 years from now.
You can work. So you're
If
saying
you
there's going
want
to
to
be
work-
like a universal income?
Yes.
Sounds like capitalism to me, like.
But he says there's going to be a problem then with the meaning of life, because if you don't have a reason to get up every day, people are going to struggle with the meaning of life and the meaning of their life, because they don't have somewhere to go and feel like, for example, in our field, like say Jack done a really good job in the project, and the way Jack is well done, they absolutely smashed it, blah blah. You're not getting that anymore. You don't feel that achievement. So where does your achievements come from? Well, we can all start going into the creative arts, so like video and like be a comedian or talking about philosophy and all that shit. That still is always going to hold value, because humans appreciate other humans as much as there's robots and AI and all that other stuff. We only ever care about other humans because we're human.
Yeah.
And we roll the roost. So it's like you only ever care about other humans, just like life born by yourself. Like see when I'm sitting now, sometimes just me, I'm like, fuck. I'm always delighted. I'm delighted to have a house myself and have the right yard and like fucking matches every day in the house.
I'd be well, to be honest, and it's the reason why I touched really minutely on like mental health there during COVID, but I was like, that's honestly the high family.
Do you remember that fucking app and all? The people were like FaceTime and all? What do you call party app or something?
Yes, I know what you're on about.
Yeah, it's like rock recordings and all, just talking shit to mates.
Yeah, I just on the drink on FaceTime. But do you know what it was during that bit? Like obviously I'm very social with them, so I know you are too. But like, I didn't realise mate, how much for my own head that I actually need to be at work.
Absolutely.
Do you know what? Because for me, mate, before I was like, barbering is something, like, see if you'd asked me before COVID, like, if anything happened in the world, I could turn and be like, but people always need their haircuts, so that'll never get taken away from me. And that was the only thing I loved about barbering. COVID happened, it was like, what do I do? Like, I swear to God, like, it made me love what I do a lot more. Like, I appreciated sort of where I was more when COVID happened. So it was mad, as you saying, it being like at the house every day. It's like, Jesus Christ, what I do.
Here's everything for that technical difficulty here.
Alright, so I had a wee technical difficulty there
back.
with the mics, but I've got them on now. So, just going to recap what we're talking about there. Obviously, your whole story starting from being, well, we'll have all that, but like being 14, starting in the barbershop, then going in, getting your $5,000. Well, you got $2,000 loan, and then you'd saved up $2,000, you started the shop, and then you were fucking 18, nearly 19, going fuck it, I'll try it. Successful. Ended up, the other fella, he wasn't feeding it, you had to buy him out. Then JR got on board about half a year later with COVID, and the rest is history. Now you got a shop in Glengormley, and there's a whole other bunch of things, but I can't sit and talk about them all. What were we talking about there just before this cut out?
I'm trying to think of it, but Jesse, something came to mind there when you were saying about being 18 and opening up the businesses. One thing, mate, actually, that I wanted to touch on that we haven't so far was actually dealing with growing up and actually stepping into the world of business at the same time.
Fucking at 18, mate, when you don't know your arse from your elbow.
Mate, do you know what it was for me? It was sort of, I was at a time, mate, where it's like, if I was speaking to any of my friends or anything that was sort of around me, mate, like, things were very unknown. It's like, if I said, yeah, I'm opening up a business to one of my mates, he was just like, how do you do that? There was no sort of like, I sort of struggled in a sense, mate, where a lot of my mates were sort of maybe going on to university. They were going out all the time, the student type feel.
Yeah.
And I just sort of didn't resonate
Yeah.
with that.
You're full of shit. You didn't go out all the time when you're 18, 19.
See, to be honest, between 16, I would have went out to Thompson's when I was 16. Like 17, so I was like a young bloomer.
So was I.
But see, when I sort of went into the world of business, 18, 19, I sort of, my priorities got, and it wasn't even, mate, that I sort of, yes, I did want the business and wanted to be a power and grow and everything, but I didn't really realise the impact of like the seriousness and the pressure that you would be under. So when I was sort of say like going out with my mates, say obviously I did go out, but like when I did go out, I was too busy thinking about what I had to do during the week. And see, going out on a Saturday night, mate, see the idea of still being hungover on the Monday and I had to go in and be a boss and have staff a lot, mate. I couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
And it's the reason why I don't drink now. It's sort of...
You don't drink at all?
Not really, mate. Like you would
Yeah,
get,
all
like,
the time?
I would say in the last year, mate, you couldn't one hand how many times I've drunk. Like, do you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
a drink for me has never really been, don't get me wrong, mate. Like, we'll go out for Christmas dinner here, I'll go out for a drink with all the lads. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not a pioneer, like, do you know what I mean? But
He's not a square.
no, I know. But yeah, like I realised that and like I have really good friends, mates, still mates them like through the year, but like they wouldn't really see me as much, and that was really because, mate, I had this.
What do you mean wouldn't see you as much?
So like a lot of my friends now would only really see me in the barbershop.
Oh, right.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So,
I didn't know what you meant there. I thought you meant like they look down on you or something.
No. Like I just mean that sort of like I nearly felt like a separation between what I was doing versus what other people was doing.
Right.
And I sort of struggled and nearly, because, mate, every day I'm talking shit every day to people. People are telling me about their lives and it's brilliant and I love the clients. And what I realised, mate, for me, it's like I was catching up with all my mates every week because I was cutting their hair. But a lot of the people that I was surrounded with, they're in jobs all week that they hate. And they go out with all their friends at the weekend.
They kind of
They catch up and get away from it. But for me, mate,
you didn't want to get away from it?
no, I was in it, like,
Yeah.
and I wanted it. So my mindset, mate, was completely different. And I only think some of the real friends, like close to me, sort of realise that about me, and they still to the day support me like about that. But there was a huge sacrifice, like in the sense where like all my mates were going on holidays, going to Croatia, going to what do you call that place, Magaluf, all that, do you know what I mean? All these sort of things, mate, that sort of at the time, mate, I actually wanted to do, because I was like, obviously I was only 18, 19, wanted to do this, but there was sort of a sacrifice where I realised to myself that like I wanted this more. To be a business owner, to grow people. I couldn't really do that surrounding myself with people who maybe don't like their jobs and they're just sort of escaping the weekend factor. So I think when I was sort of coming up and through, mate, I sort of struggled with dealing with that. Do you know what I mean?
Well, whenever I was 18, 19, I was in a wee factory job, and I can relate to what you're saying so much, because on your days off you almost want to just numb yourself a little bit and just get blocked and not think about fucking starting work again and blah blah blah. Because for me that job was so monotonous. Fucking monkey could have done it, to be fair. It was just putting fucking parts on a line over and over again, so
too repetitive. But mate, people say that to me about barbering too. It's funny you say that. Do you ever get the way you're saying you're doing the same thing? People like, one of my friends, he's a plumber, he's like, Gerry, I couldn't stay in the same room all day. So you're just doing haircut after haircut, same thing, skin fade, like type thing. And he's like, I love being out and about, different houses, that type of feel. So like, I understand like what you mean there, like I get why you wouldn't like it in a sense.
I don't like barbering's the fucking same, because you're meeting new people every day, and
it's the
you're having new conversations. Whereas I was coming in listening to the fucking 4-year-olds talk about Weetabix now, and I was like, I'm gonna kill myself.
Oh, that's not for me.
Mate, I was 8, so not to put anyone down, by the way. I'm not trying to put anyone down, but I was 18 and I came into that job. 18, nearly 19. Similar to yourself whenever you started your business, to be fair. And I was in that job, and I looked around me and I was like, right, everyone here, the median age is like 30, 40. And all these people have the same job title as me, who's just came into school and have zero experience.
If you were that 30-year-old looking at you, he would be like...
So my fear was always, I can't be this disposable. The very disposable job you're in. If they can get an 18-year-old kid up the street to go in and do it, you're fucked. You're not valuable.
I can be replaceable, is what you're saying?
Very easily replaceable. So I used to think, I can't be these people when I'm 30. I can't be these people when I'm 30. And now I'm only 2 years away from it. I'm like, thank fuck.
I made the right call.
Mission accomplished.
But then it's funny you say that, don't you? Because that's what would have been one of your focuses when you were 18. But in a funny now, when you get out of that you end up now, you have new goals and new focuses. So it's crazy. I know, do you know what it is, mate? Like, and it's funny, like, if you ask someone why do you want business, it's just like, I want to make my own money, I want to retire early, I want to do these things. But you know what's funny, mate? See, the more that I've reached goals, like, because I would be big into journaling and stuff and like writing stuff down. Yeah. And any time that I've reached new goals, I've always realised that I want to do more. And it's not a sense where it's like you're greedy or any of them things. It's sort of like you.
Was Christopher Columbus greedy?
No, I know.
You know what I mean? Elon Musk greedy? Fucker made fucking reusable rockets. There needs to be a sense of always pushing yourself forward. What's the point in being alive?
I know, exactly. And for me, mate, like if you like, especially if we're talking from a barbering stance here, like if you're someone who wants to come on board from day one, you don't know where to cut hair. Like for me, like, and this is what I feel like Bespoke is very niche, that I want to try to create an environment for people where they could come in, mate, and actually have somewhere to go. Because there's too many jobs, mate, outside of barbering where you, just as you say, you can go in, that's your job, you're getting paid X amount, you're not getting paid any more in this here, and you can be easily replaceable. Like how many times, like I have an auntie, lives in America, in North Carolina, she was a nurse her whole life, and I say, what is she, maybe in her mid-60s now, and all of a sudden her pension gets taken away from her because she lost her job, and you know this, and she's been a nurse for a long time, like, do you know what I mean? And like, imagine,
I won't be me, mate. I'll work the day I die.
But now it's obviously different in America, but like I'm sure it's the same sort of principle here, that if you sort of hang on to a job for so long, and even if you work there for 30, 40 years, that you could just be let go and forget about.
Bro, do you ever see yourself retiring?
No.
What would be the point in being alive? Just sitting there floating about?
But there's a difference, and I hope you feel like it's too, that I genuinely have a pure passion for what I do.
So do I.
But that's the reason why you are so successful.
So this is another thing. So you're in barbering at the minute, right? You're 24.
Yep.
So you're 24 years of age. Let's say you lived to your 90. You got fucking 3 more lifetimes there.
It's crazy.
Right?
It's crazy
so
when you put it like that.
At least 3 more lifetimes there. So you might be 60 years of age. and fucking run an oil empire for all you know. You don't know. You have all these plans. See, when I was fucking 18, did I think, oh, I'm going to have this fucking digital agency, open a couple of Mexicans, fucking go in investments and all this other shit? Did I fuck? I want to be a YouTuber, mate. My goal was to be a YouTuber.
Run about like Jake Paul.
Yeah, at the start, he didn't even exist whenever I started. It was more like Casey Neistat. Have you ever heard of him? It was a guy called Casey Neistat. I watched a lot of him. But that was my goal. And then as you get older, your goal, like, you start opportunities come up and things happen and things change and fucking you can't predict it. But I know I will never stop working because I love work. I love bouncing into work. What's happening? What's going wrong?
Well, we're sitting here on a Sunday night. So
exactly.
You know
what I mean? And how many people? I would never give up my Sunday. It's like, well, you're a fucking loser, mate.
And see, the thing is, people value, like, I know a barber, mate, that I cut his hair one time, and he told me he would never work a Saturday. And I was like, what? You're a barber? And you know what? He just goes to me, Gerry, I just value my personal time too much. And I just want them, like, you are a dickhead. Like, but you know what I'm on about? Like, there was a sense where, like, I want to own my own business. And this is what the problem is with business owners as well, mate, that I want to own my own business because they want that free time.
Doesn't work like that.
Do you know what I'm on about? Like, I'm telling you right now, mate, I mentioned before, I was the laziest apprentice you can meet. But when I own my own business, I've never worked harder. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's mad. People think of it differently and they want in for the different reasons. And I think you need to be there for the right reasons. Well,
people are full of fucking shit as well. See, anyone who tells you that you can go and start your own business and work. For example, there's a 4-hour work week, which is a book. I'm like, you're full of shit, mate. Most people cannot work 4 hours and get like a decent fucking wage or a decent fucking income from the business. Mm-hmm. You will work on days off, holidays. So if something comes up where it's like, we need to speak to Gerry, you're answering that phone.
Yeah, 100%.
You're answering that.
11 o'clock at night.
You're answering that phone. I have a funny story whenever I was starting at Mexican. And we were, like, everything was very, very on the breadline. I mean, and this was costing me a lot of fucking money to get off the ground. Fryers were $1,000 a pound. Fucking... the oven was $4,000. The fucking canopy was $5,000. This was coming out of COVID, where I was fucking skint, mate. But I went to every credit card company from here to Timbuktu. £500 limit, £1,000 limit, £1,000 limit, £1,000 limit. Will you lend me money? Will you lend me money? I got it all anyway, but I just couldn't let it fail. I need to get this money back. So under any means necessary, I was getting that money back, and. Just that mindset. Me and Georgia were in the bedroom getting up to nefarious things, and fucking the phone's ringing. She goes, "You're not going to answer that. You're not going to answer that." I was like, "I'm answering that." I saw the name. It was one of the staff members. I was like, "Georgia, the fucking building could be on fire." Hello. She was just looking at me like, "What the fuck is going on?" It's like, 2 seconds. Right, okay, I'm coming now. Right, I gotta go.
And you're straight out. I know, it's mad.
No choice, man. I was down the road, and then like there was a big shortage of chefs, and I was like. My head was going. I was like, what am I going to do? I can't afford to pay a chef like $50,000 to work in this place. It's just what I'm meant to do. Because there was no chefs after COVID. Loads of them went and got all their jobs. I was like, fuck, what am I going to do here? Because 2 of my chefs left me. But then I ended up speaking to my friend he designed the menu. And I was like, will you train me? And he's like, yeah. I was like, how long do you reckon it would take to train me just to do what we sell? I don't need anything more training than that. Just what we sell. He's like, like a week. He trained me for like a week.
Fuck, that was quick.
Mate, before I was on YouTube as well. Before I think you can learn anything on YouTube, and he taught me how to cut, and then he taught me he told me all the marinades, all different ways to cook things, and scoring the meat and blah blah blah. So about a week later, I was like, sweet. So now I can teach everyone how to do this thing.
Amazing.
No one's having fucking leverage over me. Fuck all you. I started waking up at fucking 6-7 a.m. or something, going straight in, getting all the meats done in the morning. Blah. It was fucking mad out of time. Mate, my head was going. I was like. Because I was working every single day, 7 days a week.
You were open 7 days a week?
No, yeah, we were open 7 days a week, but for that period, there was no chefs. I was working them 7 days every single day.
What was the quality like?
And she was pregnant. The quality was good. Whenever I went away, the quality started going down. I was coming in like a beating bar. I was like,
I'm the main man.
Who the fuck cooked this beef? And they'd be like, what do you mean? I'm like, you didn't use the chipotle. You're full of shit.
Like Gordon Ramsay.
I swear to God, it was. I do not recommend anyone going into food. It is the hardest business ever.
It's actually funny you say that, mate, because we've actually through the years we've actually debated about doing, no, not even going in the food, but just debated about maybe going outside what we're doing now And I honestly feel like, see, the reason why we didn't do that is one of the reasons why maybe we're so successful now. Because I feel it is important to stay in your own lane. Like that way, like I've been offered, mate, like sunbed shops, like, you know, other wee sort of, and then it comes back to what I said before, mate. Like, see, because I don't have a passion for that, it's sort of like you can't resonate with it. Do you know what I mean? So for me, it was about maximising what you already do have, rather than maybe like trying to spread yourself too thin and do too many. Because the thing is, maybe people think once you have money or you have a couple of quid there that here, I can just throw that into that and that'll make me X, Y, and Z with it. Do you know what I mean? A lot of people don't actually realise maybe like the work that actually needs to go into a lot of these things.
Well, I would point them all to private investors. Why do private investors exist? Why does seed funding exist? Seed funding and private investing exist because these people have lots of money, but they don't have lots of time. So what do? They grow their money. They find fucking hungry individuals like us and go, right, tell me your idea. That's a pretty good idea. Show me the numbers. That makes sense. Much do you need? Okay, how much of the business am I getting? 30%. It's a good trade to me. Sounds like a good risk. There you go.
And would you think that's worth it? Doing that if you were son? Yeah.
Well, it depends where you are. Like, if I was generating 5 million a year, my business, well, generating 5 million profit in 2.5 or something, that would be, I value my business at what, 10 million. So to get fucking 20% of my business, you give me £2 million. Yeah, that's how I would see it.
Well, it comes down to how you can invest it, I suppose.
Yeah, but like if it's a startup that has no, say they're pre-revenue, they haven't made any money yet.
It's a bit of gamble.
It's a bit of gambling. No, it's like rich white man gambling. Yeah. Being like, it's a decent idea. Fuck it.
And just throwing money at it.
Yeah. But you get a lot more back than just gambling, like, because once you're in that business, for example, like say you were early seed investor for like Airbnb or something, like you're now looking at your investment going, fuck.
Oh, it's huge.
Fuck. Yeah. Billions, mate. So that's high risk, high reward. That's what we said earlier. Like some people are happy to get their money and feel safe, and I'm fucking power to them. Keep doing that and keep going job to job and going up the ladder and getting more money for yourself and more freedom.
Because the thing is as well, mate, just made me realise that as well. Like some people, like I sit down, or some people that I know, mate, that they're happy where they are, mate. Like that their goals are to have the best life for their family and their kids, and like and that's their only like focus. And I think fair play to them. And but at the same time, I have to be honest with myself and be like, maybe that's not who I am, that's in a sense where like I want to grow a business, but like and I have people who work for me, mate, and there's some guys that we have working there, mate, that just love working in Bespoke. They love cutting their hair every day. Like if I said to them, there's one or two of them, like, would you ever want to open up your own shop? They would just say, no, mate, I love working here, which I feel like fair play to them in a sense. But then there's other people within the shop that maybe they want more and they want to open up their business. And exactly, but it's sort of, for me, it's about maybe trying to create an environment where like everyone can thrive. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I was having this conversation with Georgia the other night. So I'm trying to scale at Tiernan as much as I can, and I'm like, I only want A players in my team. Like, what is an A player to me? An A player is someone who's willing to go the extra mile, willing to learn things, willing to go to training days, willing to do A player stuff. I don't want B players, C players who are happy to work exactly when they're meant to work and then fuck off home and then not speak to me and not push the boundaries and all that. It's like, you B, C players can fuck off. I need A players, and if they go and start their own business 5 years down the line or whatever, I'm happy for them. Yeah. They gave me their A game and they're an A-team player, and then they can train other people while they're here. But like we Jack that we brought on, I was like, Jack, whenever before he came in with us, he was doing like fucking 50 million different things. He was doing like photography, he was selling fucking his own t-shirt brand. He was doing all these different things. I was like, Jack, right? He's a
wee entrepreneur.
Yeah, like he had the drive, and I was like, right, you clearly have the drive, you don't have the direction because you're young and naive. So come on board with me, really focus on the TikTok stuff for us, and then 3-4 years down the line, whatever, go start your own business, and I'm here to support you.
From his point of view, but mate, he's learning the trade with you, sort of, maybe you can give him insights.
You know who starts in marketing, entry level jobs in marketing? Graduates. They go do a graduate degree. He hasn't got a degree. He didn't go to second year either.
So it's on the job training.
He's fucking jumped 10 fucking miles in front of everyone here, just from having a bit of drive. Because see these marketing graduates, mate. I shout out to fucking Queens here. You need to get your fucking level up here. Some of the shit you're teaching them does not matter at all. Like, see some of the things you're taught in marketing, like on paper, it's like, yeah, do that in real life. See how it goes for you. These things are all based in like 50 years ago. Time goes on.
So university teaches you to work. It doesn't teach you to think. Does
Just
it?
like teachers, mate.
But
See when
sure,
you're in school.
for example, mate, like I told you, like I got at A levels, like as well. Like I got an offer from Smeary's on Falls Road to go do a BA in business studies, mate, and I just decided to myself I'd rather open up my own business and go and do a business degree.
So one of the problems we have in the school system is that, like, and teachers have one of the most important jobs in society. They really, really do. They're teaching the youth, and they're dealing with a lot more than that, like kids with mental health problems and suicide things,
yeah.
and like all sorts of fucked up things I don't have to deal with. So power to them for that. But the only problem is whenever you're dealing with young people who maybe have that drive, they want to be an entrepreneur or want to be maybe a specialist in something, a teacher doesn't have that knowledge because they're on 40 grand, 35 grand. They can't teach you how to be a quarter, a half a millionaire or a millionaire or whatever.
That's because, mate, they've went along the system of primary school, secondary school, university, straight into a job, like what would you call it? It's like the Matrix.
It's like, yeah, that's like the Matrix. But
do you know what I mean?
So you done the A level in business, right? The people who were teaching you business, they got businesses.
I don't think so.
Do you see the naivety here? Like the fucking you're teaching me about business, but you're not teaching me how to run or how to start a business. You're teaching me how to be in a business and how to run the day-to-day of a business and look at your net profits, your gross profits, a bunch of other graphs that you could probably pull up there as well.
Coca-Cola, that's all we done every day. It was just like evaluate like Coca-Cola's marketing strategies and this type of thing.
And then you start a business and you go, well, none of that really matters at the start here, doesn't it?
Josh, I said this to me. I was telling my girlfriend about this the other day. Like, see, the first time I went to space, sit down with the accountant, I walked out and sat in my car and went, I don't understand a fucking thing he just told me. Like, honestly, like, and that was one thing me and Jordan used to speak about this, that, like, you're not taught, mate, how to deal with accountants or, like, do you know, like, things like that there. Like, very, like, I used to go in with accountants, mate, and just be like, I am a wee boy here in a man's world. Like, honestly, like, these boys, like, I remember telling my accountant before that, listen, I have a fella, Jordan, great worker, really trust him, good business head on him, will be brilliant for Bespoke. And he just went to me, trust in business? Like, I just went, but you know what I mean? But it was people that sort of, they hold you accountable, like my accountants, like, so they hold you accountable, and I've sort of really I think like sort of coming out of school and sort of like bouncing into the world.
Made during the Industrial Revolution, mate. They needed factory workers, and what they want the factory worker to do, fuck up and work and do as you're told.
Yeah, but then I suppose like as a business owner you feel a wee bit niche in a sense. Like, do you ever talk to some of your friends, mate, that sort of went to university and got that job and they sort of realised it maybe wasn't what they thought it was? Like, because I've seen a lot of my friends, mate, are very intelligent people, like, and they've done good degrees, mate, and they're still not happy. But if I spoke to them a couple of years ago, they'd have been like, oh, university, I'm going to get this big job, mate.
Because university's a party land for them. They just party and have fun and fucking shag everyone and all that. And then they join their entry-level accountancy firm and go, this is fucking hell.
Yeah, I know. And then they don't know how to deal with it. And then they're stuck in a job where... But the thing is, the whole time they were in university, as you say, they were out drinking. They weren't actually maybe worrying about why they're in university.
Well, they can always make the risk, mate.
Well, that's it.
Well, everyone in the UK and down south has their own version as well. So, but everyone in the UK is eligible for the startup loan, which is up to 25k. Mm-hmm. So every single one of you, if you make a business plan, your business plan is most likely going to be accepted as long as it makes sense, and you can start your business. So there's no excuse for no one not to go and have a crack at it. You got a free 25 grand. Okay, your business fails, you owe them 25 grand. Bankruptcy, if worst comes to worst. If not, get them on a payment plan. Bankruptcy, what is bankruptcy? This is another part of the financial system. Bankruptcy is, for 7 years, you can't really grab any credit for 7 years. But after that 7 years, you're scot-free.
You're free.
You're scot-free. Wipe it off. Get a jail-free card. You're back again. What's happening? I can crack at it again.
But do you know what I realised though, mate? Like, a lot of people have good ideas though, mate, but see when you're sitting there with kids in the house and like things like that there, I feel like the risks of people wanting to do these things is very minimal.
You need to
at
mitigate it then.
I know. And I don't know, I don't even know if it is sort of small of mind, mate, or sort of being stuck in the same place. But like as you say, mate, it's achievable. Like people people want to open up businesses, mate, but they don't know what they want to open. Like, do you know what I mean? That's the reason why I said previously about wanting to stay in my own lane, because I realise that yes, that I love barbering, and yes, I'm a businessman, but I don't want to start stepping in the places where it's gonna go tits up, or maybe I'm not as educated. You know what I mean? Like I feel like they're probably, but there's probably not a right time.
Limited company, limited liability.
Tits up and then you're sweet.
Tits up, write it off on the next one.
Yeah.
People don't understand that this whole financial system is one big game. One big game that was set up first by America, then the Crown, and then fucking out all their colonies, and America, all their colonies, you basically say, after World War II. Mm-hmm. And it was like, you are all now part of this game. What is this game? This game is who has the most chips. And here's how you get the chips. So, limited liability companies, I can start about 10 of them. Go do 10 different things, put 10 grand in the album. Fucking half them fail, half them go. The other half, they're going to go to my house and take the money for it. No. Limited liability. Strike it off. Done.
So it's nearly like a risk-free when you think about it. Yeah.
That's why whenever like big, massive companies fucking fail, the people who own them don't, because they've had their dividends for 10 years and all their investments and portfolios and houses and real estate and all that jazz. So it's a big game. It's one big, massive game. And when you come from the estate like we do, we aren't taught about that, because no one we know knows about that. They know about, okay, maybe starting their own business, but they don't know about the bigger game of the financial fucking industry, which is limited liability companies taking debt, seed funding, taking other people's credit and using that credit to start businesses, and then if it goes tits up, fucking sorry, mate.
But if you were a young person like listening to this here, like where would you go and find that information? And like for me, mate, when I was younger, like I was trying to get involved with, for example, mate, like we have friends down in Dublin, Menspire, a fella like Glenn McGoldrick, and another guy, Cut and Sew, Sean Bryan. Like these are boys, mate, that own like 5-6 shops in Dublin. And for me, mate, when I was realising that I want to scale, I was like, I need to be involved with people like this. Like I need to be networking and getting mentorship of people that are at the next level. Yeah. Like, do you know what I mean? So even if you're at ground level, the next level is someone like me or you who maybe, like I know me and you're looking up the other people. Yeah. But at the ground level, there's people who are or want to be a barber, say. Yeah. And like the best thing is to reach out to a barber, ask them questions, you know, like
do what you done, exactly. Hang around the barbershop. You know how many people I know became a barber hanging around the barbershop? Fucking basically everyone Harry's brought in has been from coming and sitting in his chair and then hanging about afterwards.
And they've probably done really well.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah. So and then obviously hearing your story there when you were young, it's like it's the same like, for example, you want to work with rich people, or you want to know more rich people. Where are they? Where do rich people hang about? Find out where they hang about, and then start hanging about there. Yeah. And then sooner or later, you're probably going to speak to a rich person. Yeah. And then maybe they'll have an opportunity, maybe they'll not. And then there's nowhere. People are fucking. See, this is another thing, because we're human beings. People are scared of shit that doesn't really fucking matter. Scared of rejection, for example, like going up to a chick, and I have a girlfriend, you do too, but like say you were going up to a chick whenever you were single, and you've built this right up in your head about saying hello to someone, and they say hello and she's like, oh, I'm not interested. It's like, right, okay. Some people are so scared of that happening, just going up to someone. It's like, what's the word? What's the downside?
It obviously hasn't happened enough. If it happens enough, you just say, right, fuck this. I'm gonna make it work.
Right, well, if it happens every single time. There's a law of averages, mate. I forget the exact name, but there's a law of averages, and door-to-door salesmen use it. And the law of averages say, right, if we knock 100 doors, at least 2 people's answering. We knock 1,000 doors, at least 20 people's answering. We've knocked 10,000 doors, just 200 people answering. Out of them 200 people, we can definitely secure 10% of them. That's 20 people. Right, what's 20 people worth? How long does it take to get 10,000 doors knocked? Okay, cool, we're going to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's a lot of averages, mate.
Yeah.
You've got to keep knocking the door. And but other people like, oh my god, no one answered the door. Fuck up and go to your next door.
And just keep working.
Just keep going. Rejection's part of life. Yeah, people calling you all sorts of names and this and that, but they'll be the ones that are scared of rejection. Rejection's normal.
There's too much thinking and not enough doing when you think in a sense, mate. Like, I think procrastination, mate, is a big one for people. Like, sort of, like, a procrastination sort of takes over them.
Porn as well, mate. Fucking boys get obsessed with fucking porn, and then I just have like this porn addict, porn addiction, and then just play video games, drink fucking Monster like myself, and fucking watch porn.
I know, but you know what it is, mate? I just think, do you think it's a sort of, I think it's a manly thing, Dan, I think as well, mate, we're sort of like, we're all, like I spoke about it even today, that we're all sort of chasing something. I think a lot of people don't know what that is, in a sense. Now,
we need to find something.
Yeah. But I think that's where, like, sort of like the suicide rate and stuff, mate, as you mentioned before, like, I feel like it comes down, I feel like there's not enough self-acceptance as a man, especially in Belfast, mate, too. Like, I think a lot of people aren't happy with, like, who they are and what they do, and there's not enough, as I said, there's too much thinking and not enough doing. Like, I feel like Jordan Peterson says this, he says, like, sit on the edge of your bed and work out for yourself what you could be doing better. It'll hit you so hard you'll not even believe it. And it's just, I feel like not enough people are maybe sitting down being like, right, where do I want to go to? Where am I now? What can I do right now? Even if it's sort of so small, like going and getting that provisional form and applying for your driving license.
Yeah.
Like starting at, like, I mean, minute levels, like joining the gym. Do you know, like trying to do things that are sort of it's self-improvement. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of the stuff, made when we talk about business and things like that, some of the reasons why I think, like, you be successful is a lot of the things that people don't see. Like, as I mentioned earlier, like, it would be hugely into journaling and listening to people, like, as I said, networking, texting people, asking questions. Like, I'm not someone that's afraid to annoy people. Like, when I was younger, being in the barbershop, they all hated me because I was just standing in the chair that much.
That's what you gotta do,
do you know what I mean?
That's what you gotta do.
So you need to sort of, like, people are maybe afraid of annoying people or, like, that type of thing. Like, if there needs
you're going to annoy people.
What?
You're going to annoy people.
Yeah, of course, mate, of course. But there needs to be a selfishness inside you that it's like, for myself and my girlfriend or my family, that I want to do better. Do you know what I mean? And there's not enough of that. I feel like too many people want to go along to get along. Do you know what?
I feel like it's hard to be a man these days, mate, as well. I feel like I'm not trying to, like, fucking say it's horrible these days. It's not. We have a very easy life compared to maybe years previous, but just like a social, like, being a man, you're almost expected to have, like, a shitload of money, fucking have all these things going for you, be in great shape, and like, it's like, right, these are very hard. Not everyone's rich. No one can ever all be rich. So whenever you're watching social media, you see all these men with their fucking rollies on, they're banging down the street in a brand new Audi or a brand new Merc or whatever.
Half of them are scant.
half them are skin, and they're going to put forward this. I call them insta bums, mate. I've been calling them that for years. These are people who pretend that they're rich on social media, but you look at their bank account, there's fuck all, and they're paying out all their wages on their credit. And there's people who make 100, 200k a year, mate, who are fucking insta bums because they'll go and buy a new Merc at £1,000 a month fucking
even
payment.
They can't afford it. It's an image thing though, mate, isn't it? And it comes back to ego as well, as we said earlier.
Yeah, and then, like, oh, I can get birds with this. Like, men feel like that. Women are interested in other people. Men are interested in things. So we go and grab things. So we elevate our status. So, like, okay, I'm rolling about in a Rollie, brand new suit, got this nice car. People are going to perceive me in a certain way.
That's because men want to be respected rather than loved.
Well, absolutely. I would say that's an absolute fact. Men, everyone's different, but for me, I'm definitely in that market. Like, George, my girlfriend, she's very lovey-dovey, like touchy. And I can be like that from time to time, but I like more her talking about, like, my business and, like, real doing a good job and, like, you're doing really well, babe, and all that. That's more like my love language than, like, coming and snuggling into me and all. I'm like, I like it, but it's not, you know what I mean? I don't know if maybe it's just a masculine thing or something, I don't know, but that's my I love
See,
language.
it's because you're very driven. You can see that in you, mate. That's sort of even. I'm sure I'm like this too, mate. You're meant to be off on your day off, and you're meant to be chilling out with your girlfriend, and something at the back of your head's going, right, I have to meet Gerry here on Sunday. And do you know what I mean?
I'm like all the time.
Yeah.
Like I'm sitting there at 1 a.m. and all going like, Here, did you see that thing that we watched that video on? You reckon I could start something like that in Belfast? Like my head just starts.
She's
ticking
going,
on
Joss,
things.
will you give over? Like, go to bed.
Yeah. But look, that's what innovators and thinkers do. Like, so question for you, Gerry. If you were to start over, right, 16, 17, 18 again, what would you do different? In the barbering?
In the barbering world, you mean in a sense of, like, if I was going to start to be a
If you
barber
were
again?
to start it all over again, what would you change?
I feel like I would trust my gut a lot more.
Right.
I feel like, especially even being like a leader or anywhere, sort of in a senior role anywhere, that you need to sort of create perspective very quickly. And one thing I really didn't understand, mate, that I'm someone, mate, that wants other people to do well. So when people are nearly in then levels above me, I would look up to them in that way. And I feel like people don't feel the same way.
Mm-hmm.
So I was sort of, if I was going to start a game, mate, I would feel like it would be a wee bit more selfish in a sense, where if someone told me like, Gerry, sorry, you're not good enough at the minute, like I wouldn't let it annoy me.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like I know a lot of young barbers at the minute, mate, that sort of they're not where they want to be. And like I was, even a fella was asking me for a job a couple of weeks ago, and he just sort of said to me, Gerry, I feel like I'm gonna throw the head up. Do you know, type thing. And I feel like, and that's why previously at the start I sort of said my love for cutting hair was far greater than any shop that I would work in.
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, mate, being with clients, cutting hair, the whole sort of trendy side of barbering, like I really,
in the industry.
yeah, I really resonated like with that. And for me, I feel like I wouldn't let other barbershops, whether I was wherever I was working, I wouldn't let the owner or anyone working in the shop dictate to me sort of how well I'm gonna do in the future, or sort of, because I feel like that's very solely down to me.
Yeah.
So if I was a barber watching this being like, I'm not at a point where I should be, like I would say hang on and just keep doing everything that you feel like is necessary to get to that next level. Because I look at it like that. I look at it in levels. Like I mentioned them before, Glenn McGoldrick, fella from Dublin, really high end barbershop down there, Men's Bar. Brilliant fella. He recommended me to read the book Five Levels of Leadership by I think it's Robert Maxwell, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
And he sort of speaks about that. I actually have it on my phone. There's sort of like position bases within like any business. So like if you at the bottom of the rank in its position, so basically you'll do a job because you have to do the job. So you're a junior barber, so you have to do a junior barber's role.
Mm-hmm.
But how can I communicate that instead of you have to do things, that you want to do things?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I look at it like a levels process to sort of try to invest in people. Like for me, mate, Bespoke is about bringing people in at ground level and growing them.
Yeah.
Like I don't want there to be a ceiling in a sense where there's people that are sort of fully booked. Like, and I'm not like sort of shitting on people who are starting, because everyone starts for different reasons. The people want to start, they want to get a clientele, they want to get busy, they want to be a good barber, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for me, what if you got to that point? What's next? Do you know what I mean? So for me, it's sort of trying to create an environment and a culture where people can thrive no matter what level you're at.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like that's something maybe other barbershops are nearly lacking.
Mm-hmm.
So if I was a barber watching this that maybe isn't in a shop where they feel like they can go anywhere, like sometimes a change of environment can really elevate what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, people are sort of stuck. It's like, for example, mate, I'm sure there's brilliant barbers down in Carrick, but Belfast is probably more of a central place to get to that next level in barbering. So like, are you someone that say in a rural place, like not saying Carrick's rural, but you know what I mean, that sort of maybe you need to make that move to sort of bring yourself to the next level? Are people sort of scared that if I move here it's not going to work out? Like I feel like it might not work out. Like if you can deal with things not working out and be like, right, okay, I'm making a huge risk here, I know I might go tits up, but you're still ready to do it. Mm-hmm. Then you're in the right mindset to go to that next level. And I feel like if you're someone who wants to do well, you'll do this. Do you know what I mean?
100%. Right, one of our cameras has died now, so we'll wrap it up here. We'll be able to use this camera that finishes off. Gerry, appreciate you coming on, mate.
No, thanks for having me, Johnny.